The prisoner spat the medicine out whenever the guard wasn't watching. After taking it, once he was sure no one was around, he retrieved the antibiotics he had purchased. He tied a string around the bottle, fastening the other end to his tooth. When everything was ready, he quickly placed the bottle in his mouth and swallowed it whole. He dismantled a lighter, keeping only the flint. The flint was hidden beneath his fingernail. After that, he tied his wrists with a shoelace, pressed his thumb against the edge of the table, and jerked his right foot and wrist at the same time. The force twisted his thumb and dislocated it instantly. Mark dared not make a sound, knowing this was his only chance to escape. Mark had killed 2 people in the past and was serving his sentence under maximum security surveillance. He thought he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. But then, the police captain John's son was diagnosed with leukemia, and only Mark's bone marrow was a match. John had no choice but to ask Mark for help, hoping he would donate his marrow. To John's surprise, Mark agreed immediately. He had only one condition: he wanted permission to smoke in prison and to freely access the library. In desperation, John granted his request, not realizing he had walked straight into Mark's trap. Smoking was never his real goal, he needed the flint hidden inside. The library was just a cover. His true purpose was to steal detailed blueprints of the hospital. With everything prepared, Mark was escorted by numerous guards to the hospital where John's son awaited. Strapped to the bed, he was about to be anesthetized. At that moment, Mark bit open the medicine bottle he had hidden and swallowed all the antibiotics. The doctors soon noticed something was wrong. The monitors showed he had not been sedated. Just as they prepared to administer another dose, Mark's eyes snapped open and he leapt from the operating table. Chaos erupted in the room. He ignited a nearby ether bottle and set one of the doctors on fire. A guard managed to shoot him in the thigh. Captain John arrived at the scene, but Mark had already slipped into a laundry chute and escaped downstairs. While the hospital staff searched for him, Mark disguised himself as a doctor. Climbing back up through the ducts, he returned to the operating room and forced the surgeons to cut off his shackles. He even removed the bullet lodged in his thigh. By then, John had tracked him by following the trail of blood. Sensing the danger, Mark seized a doctor as a hostage. John could not fire his weapon. If Mark died, his son's only chance of survival would vanish. Reluctantly, John put down his gun, allowing Mark to escape. Mark gathered large amounts of ether and sprayed it all over the power distribution room. When John confronted him, Mark set the room ablaze, plunging the hospital into darkness. He then slipped through a passage into the neighboring prison and took the warden hostage. With the warden's cooperation, Mark quickly seized control of the entire facility. Meanwhile, the police had already infiltrated the prison in secret and were moving into position above his location through the ventilation ducts.